So I realized after my last video that I just showed you the corned beef and potatoes and I didn't show you putting in the cabbage. So it looks like we are almost ready. And no, that's not raw. It's actually going to get pinker with time. So, but it's ready for me to put the cabbage. Now, unfortunately, I can't find my good cutting board, which means this is going to be a challenge. But, I mean, it's a super easy challenge. You just cut off the edge. You can actually leave that core mostly in there if you want to, or you can cut it out. What I'm going to do is just take off these outer layers of leaves, because those have been exposed to, like, I don't know, everything. All the fingerprints at the store and etc., etc. And the air. I think that's probably good, actually. Well, maybe I'll take this last layer off because that's still a little printed. Yeah, perfect. Then you just slice it down the middle. It does take a little bit of muscle strength, a little bit more than you need from like a lettuce head, but you don't have to do anything more than this if you're just putting it in for corned beef and cabbage. So here's what we're gonna have. You can use part of it, or you can use the whole thing. I just tend to use the whole thing. Sometimes I break it up. I've done it where I didn't break it up. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. All you basically want to do is cover the meat and make sure that at least some of the cabbage is touching the water, and then close it again and leave it for another half an hour. Now I could save this and put it in and make soups with it, but I don't make soups often enough to do that. So we're just going to stick it in my compost. There you go. Drives the cats crazy that I won't let them out here for very long. But it's snowing. Raus! Raus! Go! Go, go, go! In! Now, the cabbage is soft enough now that you could just eat it now. Some people do like that. They like it crunchy. But I think the meat's not quite done enough for me to feel nice with that. So, we're going to wait another 10 minutes or so. What I'm looking for in my cabbage is for it all to be as soft as this one is, as this bit is. So another 10 minutes or so will give us that. I'm also trying out this gluten-free recipe for soda bread. We'll see how it goes. We're starting with greasing and flouring a baking sheet. She says use parchment paper, but I don't got any, so. There it is, and we're preheating the oven to 450. In the recipe, she said to put the dry ingredients together, whisk them together, and then make a well in the middle to put the wet ingredients in. So that's what I'm doing here. And then she said it calls for 1 3/4 cup to 2 cups of whole buttermilk. I don't have like from the store buttermilk, but I did make butter the other day. So there we go. The recipe said to add more milk if it was too dry, so I did. Almost 1/4 cup more milk, buttermilk, to get this consistency, which looks a little bit like the one in the pictures. I am dubious, but this is what it looked like before I cut it the way that they said to do. There, okay. All right, let's see what it turns out. All right, the corned beef and cabbage is definitely done. And, well, I can tell the soda bread is not going to meet most people's approbation, but it already looks more like my mom's than any gluten-free soda bread I've come up with. And it tastes more like my mom's. But I can tell it's a failure. Like, I mean, it doesn't taste like a failure to me. It tastes like my mom's soda bread that she made every year, but I'm pretty sure it's a failure by most people's standards. It's so funny. So after slicing the corned beef against the grain and adding some cabbage and potato, here's our meal. And see what I mean about the corned beef? It really looks very, very bright red when it's done cooking. but the corned beef and cabbage is good. Happy St. Patrick's Day.